Okay, there's something really important that I kind of want to talk about today. Okay, I know I look like crap, but I don't really care right now because this is kind of important. I was watching the Steve Wilkos show, and it's about domestic violence in relationships and stuff, and it's just, I usually hate this show, but. Anyways, it kind of bothered me that some guys, well, even some women actually think this way, where it's okay to abuse another person, a man, a woman, a child, it doesn't really matter. I mean, a person, it's still a person, you know? You can't just abuse people. I mean, I grew up in an abusive family, in an abusive home, and at the time, no one really knew that it was abuse. I mean, I didn't know, my mother didn't even know, because it wasn't like hitting or anything. And even when it wasn't very often, and it was always like, I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. It's like, you do it again. You do it over and over and over again, and every time you apologize, it doesn't mean anything. And I mean, it's just, you can't just apologize for it because that doesn't make it better. You have to stop the abuse. And a lot of people say, well, oh, just get out of the relationship. Well, it's not that easy. I mean, the abusive person in my family was my father. And, I mean, no matter what I do, he's always going to be my dad. And my mom tried to call the police once, and, I mean, they says she left bruises on him in self-defense, she was going to be arrested, and he wasn't, because she didn't have bruises. And it's just, I mean, unless you can actually prove that this is what happened, you're screwed, basically, and that's not right. I think that there should be a lot more that can be done, but at the moment there isn't. But, I mean, you gotta always find some way to get out of this, I mean, because if you keep waiting, one day it's gonna be too late, and then, I mean, you can't walk out of a relationship if you're dead. You just can't. It's too late by then. So you can't just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and saying, oh, he'll change, because he's not gonna change. If he did, he would have done that a long time ago. He would have done something after the first time he hit you. But you know what? When he keeps hitting you over and over and over again, and every time he says, oh, I'm sorry, he's not sorry. Okay, he might pretend to be sorry at the time, and he might think he's sorry, but he's not sorry. I mean, and there's all different types of abuse. Just hitting people, that's not just abuse, okay? I mean, it is abuse, but there's other types. There's verbal abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's mental abuse, there's all different types. And you can't just say, oh, well, he's never hit me, so it's not abuse. If he's trying to control what you wear or what you do, it's abuse. And you just gotta remember that. If he's cutting you down and saying how shitty you are and all the time, that's abuse too. I mean, there's all different types of abuse and you can't just ignore it. I mean, yeah, he might seem nice one minute and, oh, he's so sweet, you don't know him like I do. That's bullshit. Okay, if he's hurting you or degrading you in any way, it's abuse. It's wrong. No one should ever tell you that you're anything less than perfect. Yeah, technically you're not perfect, but you're the perfect you. The way you dress, the way you act, it's you. And he shouldn't be trying to control that. He shouldn't control who your friends are, who you see, where you go, when you go. It's your life. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. I mean, within legal terms, but I mean, it's your life, and you shouldn't let someone else control it. I mean, growing up, like I said, I was abused. Sexually, and emotionally, and physically, and mentally, and it's, until I got older, I didn't even know, and my mom didn't even know. Honestly, it just kind of, thinking back, it just kind of leaves me like, what was wrong with me? How could I not see it was abuse? And what's worse is a lot of other people don't see it as abuse. Or they do, and it's just like, oh, well, he's my friend, he didn't mean it. Or when you see someone getting abused, do something. Don't just stand there. I mean, step in and then call the cops. Okay? I don't care if he's your friend or not, what he did is wrong. Or what she did. I mean, guys aren't the only ones who do abuse. Girls can be abusive too. I mean, yes, it's more common in guys, but still, it's still abuse, regardless of who's doing it. And who cares if they're your friends? If you're really their friend, you'll report them so that maybe they can get some help. Because one day they might end up killing someone. I mean, maybe not on purpose, but in their fits of rage and abuse, they could really hurt someone, in which case it's going to be too late. You need to be a friend, and you actually need to go and stop them and get them help. And sometimes that means sending them to jail. I mean, sometimes that's what it means, but you need to make sure that they get help. Because it could get a lot worse. I mean, I have a lot of friends who've been abused, or know other people who've been abused, and it's not easy. And I can't tell you that it gets any easier, but I can tell you that staying in the relationship is not the right thing to do. It's just not. Because you're not anyone's property. Male, female, it doesn't matter. You're no one's property. You're not an object that you can just take off the shelf and use however you want. You're not some, like, toy that you want set on fire as a child or something. You're a person. A living being. Okay? And your life, it's no more important than anybody else's. Just because you're female doesn't make you less of a person. You're still a person. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise or try to control you or whatever. Because it's not right. I'm here if anyone wants to talk, you know. Because I have been there and I'm a good listener. But you really need to get out of the relationship. Whether that means going to the police, going to family, you just need to get some help. Because you're not in it alone. There are millions of other people who are abused every day. And some of them wait till it's too late. And by then, well, it's too late. You can't get help then. Because it's already over. You can't do anything if you're dead. And I mean, do you really want to die because of some guy or some girl abusing you? I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I personally want to go out some epic death that, like, is cool or something. Not because of some because of some guy abusing me. That's not how I want to go out. That's not how I want to be remembered. And don't let that guy or girl who's ever abusing you, don't let him get away with it. You stand up, you speak out, and you get help. Whether it's help from your family, friends, police officers, there's a ton of places you could go. If you're a kid, there's teachers. And don't let them just say that there's nothing we can do. Don't just settle for that. You gotta keep fighting for help. I mean, there's a ton of places online that you can call or email and get help. You can't just give up, and you can't just let people push it aside, because it's a big deal. So just remember that, okay? And good luck.